Hey, you made it. I'm glad you're here. Now, I am going to jump straight into this, but if you like any of the songs, there are links for them in the description, and as well as that, there's a link to the whole series down there for you as well. So we've made it to day 22 in this run. As I said last week, the main focus this week is going to be from turning it from a functional base into a beautiful home. So with that in mind, I head out searching for all kinds of nice tiles. On the way, I find a couple of deer acting weird, so I decide I'll kill all the zombies and I'll get myself some fresh meat. And then I've set about the houses gathering up some nice tiles. Now for anybody who doesn't know how I'm doing this, that little chest of drawer icon on the left hand side is your best friend. That's the furniture tool. You can use it to pick up basically any tile in the game, and then you can take it back to your home to decorate with them. Now while Francisco gets to work doing that, I've actually got some pretty exciting news for you all. A buddy of mine has told me to repurpose his Discord server. Now, he actually gave me the Discord server probably coming up on a year ago, but I've been treating it like housekeeping. I've just been keeping the throne warm for him, as it were. But what we've decided is we're going to turn it into a gaming community server. So this is the official announcement. This is your invitation to come hang out with us, come play some games with us, and come bring some good vibes. I've chucked a link in the description for that one as well. While doing this, I learned two really important things about myself. First of all, mathematics is not my strong suit. Despite writing down that I needed 4x4 tiles for the bedroom, I only brought 12 back. And then even more embarrassingly, I have a memory that would embarrass a goldfish, because I drive around trying to work out where I got the floor tiles from, and I actually ended up watching the video back myself to work out which building I got the floor from. I think I actually checked every house down this street except for the right one as well, which is a little bit shameful. Other than that, I get a little bit annoyed that this chest of drawers bedside cabinet thing won't rotate. Finish furnishing my bedroom, and then that is about it for day 22. I organise a bit of loot, bit of busy work around the base, and then I get myself off to bed. I start off day 23 by getting rid of some of the unwanted furniture within the base. Thankfully, there's a big orange garbage bin in the courtyard, so I can just take stuff out there and throw it in there. Then I get to work removing some of the unwanted floor tiles. Now, this area here is going to sort of serve as a walkthrough, so I want to make sure there's a good flow to the room, a good feng shui, I think they call it. Then I head back into the houses to the south to get the floorboards I need. Once I've gathered them, I take them back to the base, and I think you can see what I was talking about when I say it adds a good flow to the room by taking out those tiles from that first bit. With the flooring in, I go out to the chicken pen and I spend a little bit of time scratching my chickens, curing my depression. With the chickens scratched and a smile on my face, I decide it's time to go find some furniture. So I head back south into the houses and I go looting. There is some light resistance, but by this point in the playthrough, if you've been watching, you probably realise it's not much of a threat for me. And then I get busy playing Burglar Simulator, going through different houses, collecting up different tiles, TV. It's all going to look really nice when I put it together in the living room, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. It's not just the living room I want to decorate as well. You can see I decorate the farm a little bit. I'll get the scarecrow some clothes a bit later on. But yeah, here you can see it. It's all laid out. It's all looking quite nice, quite dandy, I would say. And then I head back out to the gun club. I want to grab some of the lockers for my armory, but I find quite a bit of trouble on the way. And I just think if they're going to come throw themselves over this fence, then I'm going to keep smashing them in the head while they're rolling on the floor. After claiming victory in the apocalyptic whack-a-mole, I got back in the car, and I zigged when I should have zagged at the junction and ended up at a bar. With Francisco basically living for good liquor, this wasn't a problem. I went inside, got myself some booze, and I even took home one of the bar walls to stick in the lounge. With those treats secured, I headed off back to the gun range. There were a few angry locals there. I dealt with them quickly, and then I headed into the basement. Now, I do watch my own videos, so I was very aware that down in the basement there was 3 gun lockers, and I wanted to get them back to style out the armory. Because of stopping off at the bar on the way here, however, the van was very full, and this left me carrying some of this stuff in my own inventory. With the car being in such a bad state, the drive back was quite tense, and it sort of reminded me that it is important for me to start working on some mechanical skill so I can take care of my vehicles properly. I did manage to get home safely without stalling and set about decorating with my new tiles. I also, while I was out, I topped up a few water bottles so I could top up the chicken's water as it hasn't rained yet. And then I got back to decorating. I had been collecting up cool looking stuff that I'd been just putting on my bed, so I moved them to the bedside cabinet and cleaned my bedroom up a little bit. With a bit more furniture in the base, it gave me a bit more storage options, so I started to organise things a bit further, make sure things were in the right rooms. And as promised, I went and I dressed the scarecrow. Very spooky. I even went ahead and tidied my bedroom. My mother would be proud. I closed the night off by getting some of the Mechanic 1 book read, and then it's just a little nightcap for me, and then off to bed. I woke up on day 24 to the sound of rain. So the obvious thing to do was strip naked, run outside, and do a little dance in it. Now, I don't have the dancing mod, so unfortunately, we don't get that little moment. A big part of me actually wanted to stay at home today and let these water barrels fill up. However, I had already set up the armory, so I headed out to Jamieton in order to get some stuff to put in it. Now, if you're a regular here, you can probably guess what's coming up. If not, and this is your first time, then just sit back, relax, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the violence. Now the building was kind of half looted when I got there, but that actually just made it easier to get in the back room. I did manage to fill up the car and the trailer with ammunition and weapons, got myself a clothing rack, and I even took home one of the little army radios so I could hear the emergency broadcast. And let's not forget the giant American flag. I know just the spot to put this back at the base. When I got back home, I got to work laying out my new furniture. I wanted to get the sheep's water feeder in while it was still raining so we could take advantage of that. And as well as that, because the buckets were full, I could actually clean my chicken coop. Other than that, I spent the rest of the evening decorating the base with the new tiles that I've collected. I organised the loot, and then I finished the night in a way that's becoming quite the tradition now, with a cheeky nightcap, and then getting my head down. When I wake up in the morning of day 25, I'm actually feeling pretty good about the way this is all developing. The base is looking cosy, you know, we've got a nice bedroom, we've got a nice living room, we've got a nice kitchen, food store. Everything's looking really nice, and it's actually putting my real life house to shame a bit. Today we're going to be going back into Irvington. There's a gas station I want to explore a little bit, see what food they've got there. And then across the road from there is a Zippy Mart as well. So it is going to be quite productive. I am quite happy we got out here before the power went out, because it meant I could get in the freezers and I could get some ice cream. The loot in these was pretty decent as well. Not only did I get my ice cream, but I got loads of sweeties and good as well. It's pretty handy there's no dentist in the apocalypse, so I'd be getting told off for this one. With that in the bag, I went in search of more furniture. I put the military radio on a 2-tile table, and it just didn't quite look right, so I was looking for a single table. Found some down by the Gigamart, so we'll give that a go. I decided to have a peek inside the gun shop as well, despite the fact that I burnt it down in episode 2, and I found myself a deer head. I also hit a pile of crepes just to the south, got another 1-tile table, just so I had a bit of choice and I could play around with it, see what looked best. With that done, I headed back to the base and finished, and I settled on the square table, which I think looks pretty good. One of my next goals was to get the outside area cleaned up a bit more. I spent a little bit of time with my chickens. Now, I realised when I killed the deer earlier that I actually forgot to put a butcher hut in, so I'm going to be working on that as well. My next goal for the afternoon was to get the upstairs room gutted so I could get the floors in I wanted. And then I got to work with the prophesised butchery hut. Now, I didn't really have much spare wood, so I just traced out the floor with sand and I put the butcher hook itself in. To finish the evening off, I read a bit more of my mechanics book. And then that's about it for day 25. Get myself to bed, catch some Z's. I start day 26 with a shave, and I also realise that I haven't took my hat off for the entire playthrough, so my hair's looking a little bit kooky, so I think we'll be keeping that hat on for now. Today I want to get the butcher hut finished, so I head out to gather some wood. I do encounter some zombies on the way, and with how the super hearing works now, they do aggro from quite far away, so I decide it's probably best to clean them up before I start carrying loads of wood and over-encumbering myself. And then I get to chopping. By targeting the big trees, it means I get 4 logs out of every tree, and I spend less time working. With the wood chopped, I head to the nearby houses, and I grab a couple of lights. I don't really think I'll be doing much butchering at night, but I might put some coloured light bulbs in there just so it's got a bit more of a vibe to it. Back in the compound, I get to saw in the wood and I get to work building the butchery hut. We've got the same situation as with the farmhouse, where I'm not going to put a roof on it yet, just because I can't actually build the tiles that I want to. It doesn't take too long to get done, and I really like the base build in this game. With how tense the combat and the violence sequence can be, the downtime in it it adds a nice balance to it that's really rewarding, and I really enjoy that. Nothing else too exciting happens for the rest of the day. I put things back in the proper storage slots, and then I get back to work on the mechanics book. If you are enjoying the show so far as well, please do consider subscribing. And I do just want to take a second to say a big shout out to those people who've been with me since episode 1. I went back this week and I watched episode 1 again, and you guys are legends for subscribing to that. I appreciate you so much. On day 27, I've got a problem to solve. My hens haven't been laying eggs since the game patched. Now, I don't really understand why this has happened, but it is obviously linked to it patching somehow, so I set out to get myself some new hens. I have also copied out the game files and I'm running build 42.2 directly rather than through Steam to stop it updating, so we will be locked in this patch for the rest of the playthrough. A buddy of mine had his save bricked by 42.3 as well, and I'm just not willing to take that risk. So I head to the farm just to the north of me, because there is a little chicken coop there, grab what I can, and then I head down to the big cattle ranch from the episode 2. My goal here is just to absolutely fill the van with chickens. I don't want any space in there, I want the thing overflowing. So I kill the local zombies, and then I get to work getting as many chickens as I can fit in there. I also noticed a ton of eggs lying on the floor, and the reason we came for more chickens is because we didn't have enough eggs, so I figure I might as well grab them as well. Once I've got the trailer fully loaded, I take my girls back home and just look at them in all their glory. I'm going to be eating omelettes forever. Now, if there are any modders out there, I've got 2 words for you. Polish chickens. And if you don't know what those are, Google them right now. Amazing, right? The next thing I had on my mind was heading back out and finding myself some sheep. I went round a lot of the local area. With it being the early afternoon, mid-afternoon, I didn't really want to commit to going too far from base. I searched every farm around the area trying to find some sheep, but I did come back empty-handed. Guess it was a total U-turn. When I get home, I check on the new hens, and it is good news. Seems to have done the job, and I've already got some eggs there. As I've finished Mechanic Book 1 now, I close the night off by getting to grips with the reloading book. And that's about it for day 27. I hit the dusty trail, and I close my eyes and dream of chickens. Day 28, I woke up to darkness. Now, I'd got a bit paranoid that I might have set the sandbox settings wrong and the power wasn't turning out. I'd considered it was a bug and thought about going into debug mode to manually turn it out. But no, it actually turns out I got a god roll on Project Zomboid. Who'd have thought that could happen? I've also been having problems with my washing machine. Now, I'm not sure what's going on, whether it's a quirk of the mod, but for some reason, I can't put it in washing machine mode despite the fact it's plumbed in. So I decided the best thing to do is just to get a dedicated washing machine rather than using this combo. This also happened while I was turning around, but it's not a big problem because I can grab another from the cattle ranch. The plan today is to pick up where we left off yesterday. We are going to get some sheep today. There ain't no doubt in my mind about this. So I head out to some of the farms below Rosewood, but it's no good. Everywhere I check is no sheep, empty farms. So I need to come up with a better plan. Where can I find some sheep? And then it dawns on me, Echo Creek. Every time I've been through there, I've seen some sheep in the fields. So I head up that way. When I pulled around the first corner into town, I saw them in the field, the fluffy little balls of heaven. There were a few zombies there, but I was determined, and I was going home with some sheep. I got them loaded into the back of the wagon and I drove home so carefully. I was so happy to have some sheep at last. And better still, when I got back to the base, I checked on the RAM and he wasn't even stressed, so I didn't have to worry about him smashing the place up. I got them all in the pen, and you could probably tell by my voice that I absolutely love sheep. I was so happy to have them. I even got some little lambs so they'd be producing milk straight away. It was great. It was amazing. In the evening I felt like celebrating, and I thought what better way than to go out, stand on the roof, have a cigar and a whiskey, and look across everything I'd done. It's been a long month, and we've achieved so much in this month that I felt it was important just to sit back, take everything in for a moment, and enjoy the victory. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have realised that we never actually furnished the upstairs room, and there is a good reason for that. The carpets that I want to put in there, I only know one place to get them, and that's Guns Unlimited. So next time, we'll be clearing Echo Falls and we'll be taking on Guns Unlimited. And that is the end of the first month of this series. As I say, we will be back again. In the meantime, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, get active in the comment section. I love interacting with you all. It proper makes my day hearing where you're all watching from, getting some nice comments, bit of feedback on what I'm doing and what you're enjoying. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and take care.